I just would like to ask a question connecting with my job, with
Yes.
my work. So I've been very fortunate to move to America 20 years ago together with my wife, and we are ballroom dance champions. So we've been lucky early enough in our career to get to learn about The Secret, and then 10 days after I got the book about Abraham. It was very helpful for our career. So now we're retired, and we are parents, and we're actually dance teachers. And I've been following a lot of your teachings about people that actually teach or healers, what your guidance is. And honestly, I applied very deeply in my teaching, and I consider myself successful, and results show it, that actually I focus on my students at what they're good at and their maximum potential of what they can reach as humans, as dancers, regardless of age.
So in a way, you are looking at the Vortex version of them.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And this works amazing.
Yes.
I have students with not such good physical abilities, but when
Yes.
I look at them, at their positive stuff, at their Vortex ability and
Yes.
maximum, it works. Now, my issue is whenever I'm positive and I'm making them aware of their goodness, there is still this moment where I have to guide them that they actually have to learn to put their body in the right position. Sometimes weight loss has to be addressed. Sometimes issues that are a little bit hard for them and might sound harsh should be addressed in order long-term success and happiness for them to be achieved. So I need guidance. What should be my correct words in order to bring to them the best they can be in the long term?
Well, you said two different things to us. Part of it, we sort of put an assumption of our own into what you were saying. We just want to make this clarification. You see their potential, but you also see their current reality. So which is it? Here's the thing. You cannot be in this physical body without observing the things of a physical nature. It's perfectly logical. It's where the new ideas and the new desires come from. But here's the key. If you will just make sure that when you speak, you are in the receiving mode before you speak, then you will always be speaking from the framework of who they really are and what they really want. First of all, you'll be tuned in, tapped in, turned on, because you're looking for the success. You're looking at who they really are. And by making sure that you're in that satisfied, not dissatisfied with them, but satisfied with them vibration, then the words that are inspired to you will more likely be more better received by them. They won't take it as criticism when you join everything that they've put into their vortex about what they want and their inner being's perspective of it and your inner being's perspective of it. When that's the vibrational stance that you have as you are expressing to them, the likelihood of helping them rise to seeing that too is greater. And so one of the things that we've said to parents over time is talk to your children as much as you can, but only when you know that you're in alignment. Well, those sound like funny. Talk to them constantly, but only when you're in alignment. And so it's the same sort of thing. Be clear that you are in alignment. Just make sure what you're under the influence of. Are you under the influence of who you know them to be and their state of becoming, or are you under the influence of what you're seeing right now? Just make sure of what influence you're under before you speak, and you'll see. And you're already doing that because they're catching the vision of your vision. That's why they are believing more in themselves than they have.
So for me, it will be very easier to relate if there was not a competition aspect to my business, but actually all the competitors, they go to a competition where the people go first, second, first, fifth, sixth, 20th. So when it's a competition aspect, then what is the right vocabulary to take the competition aspect away and actually really make them focus on the best they can be?
Here's a perfect way for you to look at this. We really want you to hear this from us. The only thing that you have any control over is your own vibration. As a teacher, it's a strong tendency to want to be affecting the vibrations of others. And of course, that's what we do as uplifters. That's the whole point of it. But if you will just let what you're interested in and what you care about be your own alignment, then the words will flow forth from you in an easier way. Competition is an interesting thing because it creates desire. it certainly causes desires to be born that in many cases would not be born without it. This subject of competition may be the best conversation that we could have here today or ever about the balancing of energies, because it has within it the potential for things wanted and unwanted, because it launches the desire, and when focused upon it, it can really call you forward in a really life-giving way. But it can also thwart you as you look at what is, which is not where you want to be, and therefore activate those vibrations that keep you from being who you really want to be. Of course, as a teacher, you want to do your best to instill confidence in others. And you really can't instill confidence while you're pointing out flaws at the same time. You just have to decide what matters more to how you feel and what matters more to how they feel. And here is a very common flawed premise, because most people really believe that in order to get people to do what they really need to do, that you have to make them aware and you need to prod them and poke them and that sort of thing. In other words, it's more about motivation than it is about inspiration. But it is our promise to you that you are in the work of alignment, and you know that from your own exposure to your career. You know that. Alignment must come first, and everything else will follow. And so, what is more beautiful than someone being in alignment? Being in alignment and being inspired from that place of alignment. And of course, there are absolutely physical skills that you are teaching them. You're teaching them steps and movements. You are encouraging them into endurance and stability, and you are fostering the physical nature of their physical bodies. Of course, you're doing all of that. But the thing that matters the most of all is their alignment. And so we know it's why you're asking the question, how can I guide them without seeming critical? How can I guide them toward what I believe they need to know without diminishing their connection to source energy? And we say, you really can't. You really can't approach it in a physical way. You can go so far, what we know you know, but we think it would be helpful if you would help them know. It's what we want all of you to know. Is the thing that we talk about all day, every day. It's the only thing that really matters to any of you. It's your relationship with your own inner being, not your relationship with your audience, not your relationship with the judges, not your relationship with anything. Nothing else is anywhere near as important in terms of priorities as your relationship with your inner being. And so if you'll just ask yourself on a really regular basis, especially before and during the time that you're interacting with them, first, what's my relationship with my inner being right now and with my vortex? Do I feel satisfied or am I feeling unsatisfied? Am I feeling critical or am I feeling impressed with improvements? In other words, what is your state of satisfaction? And then the next question to ask before you ever say anything to anyone is what I'm about to say going to enhance their relationship with their vortex or be a disadvantage to it? Am I soothing them? And here's the flawed premise. Most people fear that if you soothe people, if you soothe them when they clearly don't deserve to be soothed, because look at them, then you're sort of missing the whole point of what alignment really is. It's about vibration, and everything else follows. And so as you foster alignment, the beauty of them, the finesse of them, the talent of them, the timing of them, the precision of them, all of that follows that, you see.
You see, for me, when I'm doing my teaching, I got a student with a very limited abilities, and I apply 100% your teaching. Even I look at your videos, and I was taking notes about the vocabulary that you use, and it worked. Actually, that student was 5 times national champion. She did amazing. But then the fact that I was so positive reinforcing her and making her bubble of dance more than it is, or actually being more than reality. What happened in the long term, she had so much fear of she has to prove that high standard.
That's why you want to make certain that she understands what the true game is. It's about alignment. It's about your relationship with you. It's about how you feel. It's about your personal advancement and progress. In other words, these are the words that we really, really want to say. We've been wanting to say them for a very long time, and you really, really want to hear them, and you are asking for them, and we're out of time. Right here. This is so important and so right on point. Satisfaction is why you're here. You came for joyous creation. So satisfaction is why you exist at all in this leading edge time-space reality. Hear it? And the only place that satisfaction comes from is you launching a desire and moving in the direction of it. Satisfaction doesn't come from giving the judges what they think they want, because they're fickle, you know that. Satisfaction doesn't come from pleasing an audience, because they can be fickle too. Satisfaction comes from one place and one place only. Satisfaction comes from one place and one place only. That's you moving in the direction of what's in your vortex. You hear that? That was so good. We so want you to hear that. So let's hear it for satisfaction. We just want you to remember. Let that be your intention for a little while and watch what happens. But now let's address this conversation about someone being encouraged in their desire so much that the absence of it becomes unbearable. Well, isn't every subject really like a stick with two ends on it? And the more energy you have flowed toward the desire of something, then the more dissatisfaction you have when you look at the other end of it. But what trips humans up, and this may be hard for you to hear, is that the satisfaction is about the way the energy flows, and the manifestations always follow. But when you make your satisfaction based upon a critical review or comparison of your manifestation versus other people's manifestations, now you have no control of your game at all. Does that make sense to you? Competition is so wonderful and so awful at the same time. It's a stick with two ends on it. It inspires and it defeats. And it just depends what end you are looking at. And so this is something that we know you know it, but you want to get across even more to them, is that the reason that you're in this is because you are a teacher to the core of your being who was born to uplift. And so as you focus with them and you see what they are able to accomplish under the influence of alignment, and you realize that, yes, you've got some dancing skills that you're teaching, and we don't want to minimize those at all. They're wonderful and important. But your primary skill is your skill to soothe and uplift. An athlete can be skilled at his craft in that his coach has encouraged him to get his physical body into shape and so forth. And they can practice throwing the ball into the hoop over and over and over again, and they can improve their accuracy about that. But without alignment, there are no superstars. With alignment, and maybe this is what you want to impart to your friends and students, with alignment comes something extraordinarily wonderful. With alignment comes an inner being who knows you intricately and intimately, who knows, we said this earlier, but we want to put it in this framework, who knows what you're asking for and what the path of least resistance to achieving that satisfaction is. So your inner being has access to the chemical factory that is your body, to the chemistry of your body, to the introduction of adrenaline at the right moment, to the controlling of your muscles, to the lubrication of your tendons. In other words, your inner being knows your body and is intricately involved in your body. But your passageway has to be open in order for you to receive not just the mental stimulation and not just the impulses to move, but even on a cellular level. Your body will become a cooperative component of everything that you've asked for in relationship to this competition. There is so much more ability and potential that is possible in every moment in time under the influence of that complete connection. So if you just emphasize that so much that that becomes what you want to see in them and what they want to see in them and what you want to feel in yourself when you are contemplating them and what you want them to feel in themselves, so that that becomes the top priority. And the competition is just a fun thing that you do. The competition was the way that you launched the rockets. The competition is a wonderful way to keep sharpening your game and asking for more. That's all a wonderful thing, but it is not the main event. The main event is source flowing through you, giving you timing and abilities that is the mastery of whatever it is you're focused upon when that is happening.